Stats, what's going on this morning, man? How are we on this Wednesday?
I'm doing well. Great to talk to you great guys, and good seeing you last week. And your listeners, I know are great, but they are fortunate to have you good, hardworking guys, and your advertisers are fortunate to have y'all. Y'all deliver for your listeners and for your advertisers. It was great to see y'all at work last week.
All right, let's leave it right there. I don't think we can top that. So, Brett, good to talk to you. So,
hey,
the heat's getting to you clearly, my man. You've been out in the heat too much.
All true, Tommy. I see it. I've seen it for years. I know it, and I think y'all are lucky to be where you are with those great fans. They're lucky to have y'all.
I appreciate it, buddy. So where are more Arkansas fans going to be this year, Brett? In Memphis, Tennessee, week 4, and Little Rock, Arkansas, week 2?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot at both places. I am surprised that the ticket sales are going slow for War Memorial. We know it's last dance. It's the last ride for War Memorial for, I think, any Razorback game. We know why. It's bittersweet. It was a show place and fun for years. Some of the games and times of our lives were there, but that's not where the action is. The action is at Fayetteville, and that nobody's kind of doing the dual home field anymore, and the Razorbacks really haven't done it, and it should be up there. I am surprised by this, though, and I don't think it's incumbent on the Arkansas State fan to fill it up. I think it's the Razorback fans' responsibility to fill up War Memorial for that historic game, and it's probably going to be a one-off game. But I'm surprised by the Arkansas State fan that is a little nonplussed by it and trying to act like it's no big deal when we all know it is and it should be, and it's not a slight to say this. This is their Super Bowl. They've had those bumper stickers for 50 years of how long will the Razorbacks run. Well, they ain't running anymore. Why aren't you going and buying tickets and going to the game?
I couldn't have said it better. So in that game, Stats, we don't know the line just yet. I'm of the belief that you bet on Arkansas State to cover, not to win. I mean, this is not a Blake Anderson, Gus Malzahn. I know Brian Harsin didn't have success at Auburn, but he did have success in Jonesboro. What are your thoughts on that game actually playing out on that field that Saturday?
I've got Arkansas winning that game, and they should. And the indignity, just imagine if Arkansas State won, particularly at the buzzer, and the goalpost came down at War Memorial, and they hauled them back to Jones Boogie. It would be one of the sights of all time. But I don't think Butch Jones, the Sergeant Carter of the 21st century, can pull that off. But the Razorbacks have 3 straight weekends of Arkansas State, at Ole Miss, and at Memphis. You got to go 2-1. Everybody knows Sam Pittman must go 2-1 over that stretch. 3-0 would go a long way, because not only do most Razorback fans feel a athletics supremacy over those 3 teams, Arkansas State, Ole Miss, and Memphis, there are a lot of Razorback fans that feel a moral supremacy to those 3 fan bases.
Yeah. You live in Eastern Arkansas. You do radio every day in Memphis. Those 3 games in a row, how much conversation is that raising the profile in your part of the world for the Razorbacks? I know that they're already prevalent, but how much is the Razorbacks coming up in day-to-day conversations with that much frequency, if you will, with teams that y'all cover on a daily basis?
Tommy, it's a lot. It's been a lot of conversation. I'm looking forward to the month of September. It's a critical month for Sam Pittman. I've got the Razorbacks going 2-1 in that stretch, and I've got the Razorbacks upsetting Notre Dame in Tennessee style like they did last year at Fayetteville. But I don't have a great year for the Razorbacks overall. I've got 6-6, and I voted them 13th last week. And I think that's where they ended up in the poll. So we know how critical it is, and you see the odds out today for first coach fired. Everybody knows Sam Pittman is on a hot seat, and it's really going to be right here in my area for it to play out in those 3 weeks against ASU, in Oxford, and in Memphis against the Memphis Tigers. And if Memphis were to win that game, I really believe that should vault Ryan Silverfield up to a top 2 or 3 or 4 on some type of short list that Hunter Yurachek should be working on right now for the next coach.
Interesting thought there. Speaking of Memphis, they're trying to court the Big 12, $200 million being thrown around. Doesn't sound like it's going to happen. What's the latest with Memphis trying to find a new conference affiliation?
Tommy, some even reporting $250. I mean, $250 million. Heck, it only cost us $260 million to build FedEx Forum. There are a lot of NFL and NBA teams that people have bought in for less than that. Heck, Michael Heisley sold the Grizzlies to Robert Parra for $400 million, and now $250 million reportedly by some, and rebuffed. And I thought the most the prevalent aspect of it was after 5 years, Memphis agreed that if you don't like us, you can toss us. I mean, it can come down to we don't like the color shirt you got on, and you could get tossed out of the league after 5 years, and they still wouldn't take them. And I said this mostly flippantly Monday, but after I think about it a little bit, I might be a little more serious about it. It's not going to happen. If I'm Greg Sankey, I call Memphis and say, make it $300 million and welcome aboard.
Yeah, well, you may have a point there. Hey, speaking of that in the football game, where's the stadium? What's the progress on the renovations? We were there for the Liberty Bowl. Obviously, the beginning of a lot of work. What's that place going to look like when the Hogs roll in over there?
Well, it's a construction area. You won't have to wear a hard hat on game day, but it's a construction area. It's about half completed. It's in 2 years, phases over 2 years, just like Vanderbilt's doing, and like Texas A&M did once upon a time over a couple of years during the Johnny phenomenon. And they spent $500 million. Memphis is not doing that, and they're actually reducing capacity. Capacity when it's open for 2026 will only be a little over 40,000, and that's only 10,000 more than they left Crump Stadium for 60 years ago to move to the fairgrounds to the new football stadium then.
Wow. Brett Norsworthy with us, affectionately known as Stats, does radio in Memphis in the afternoons from 3 to 6. His show Sports Time with Brian Dacus. Brett, I wonder, as we kind of stay within that 3-game frame you've talked about, Notre Dame, Memphis, and Ole Miss, that Week 3 game. Ole Miss has got Kentucky the week before. We know how that ended in Oxford last year. I think they're going to hang 50-plus on Kentucky and in Lexington this year. But for Austin Simmons, his first home game in the SEC, I know he played a little bit last season, but what are your kind of expectations for him and his first game against the Razorbacks in Vaught, Week 3?
I don't see any reason for any drop-off. We know the best quarterback coach in the country is Lane Kiffin. Look what he did in the 3 years at Alabama with Blake Sims, Jake Coker, and then Jalen Hurts. And he got the best football ever out of all three of them in college. Then he got it out of Matt Corral. He got it out of Jackson Dart. Got Jackson Dart drafted by the New York Giants. And he's going to get it out of Austin Simmons. Austin's been in the program 3 years and even pitched in baseball. Had that good fourth quarter last year in Fayetteville. Threw the touchdown pass to Quan Wright, the starting tight end, who also had a great catch in the bowl game from Dart against Duke. Austin Simmons is going to be right there at the top of the quarterback list at the end of the year, and it's why I think Ole Miss is being a little underrated, a little under the radar this year, where last year was very prevalent, very prominent on the radar, and had that tough loss to Kentucky in Oxford. And there's no amount of points. There's no margin of victory that Ole Miss can beat Kentucky by to avenge that from last year, because we know what it cost us.
Stats, you mentioned the tight end position. This came out during media days, and I know it's since been confirmed Luke has had ankle surgery. I'm going to guess, based on the timetable, that he's not going to be available for that Arkansas game.
No, he's not, and that's a shame. We'll take a little of the temperature down in that game, and we see that now with players playing against full teams, and that's going to become more and more prominent and relevant out there. And we've got to watch how we feel about it, because if you're going to take a player from one team, then you can't mind if you lose a player. If you can get it, you got to be able to give it, and that's happening. But it's a shame he's going to be out probably until after the open day, and not really right until the Georgia game when Ole Miss goes to Athens in late October.
Well, looking forward to seeing you Week 3. Always love catching up with you, Brett Norsworthy, 3 to 6 in Memphis, Sports Time on WHBQ. Brett, as always, good stuff, man, and we'll see you here in a few weeks.
And great to see y'all. Great always to visit with you. Keep up the great work, man.
All right, appreciate you. Brett Norsworthy with us from Memphis, Tennessee.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. And with baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. Bet online. The game starts here.